Siripong, Deputy Manager of Network and Government Relations of PMCAF.
Professor Dr. Bunchol Pausawat-Yanyo, Principal of Government Science.
Assistant Professor Surashai Kashipan, Administrative Vice Principal of Government Science.
Both deeply honored to have you join us today.
Now, let's take a moment to look back on the wonderful memories we've shared throughout this event. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy this short event summary video. Next, we will now begin the student project presentation session.
Today, all 8 collaborative teams will present their research and findings under the theme of Earth Sustainability, in which each team will have 8 minutes for your presentation, followed by a 4 minutes Q&A session with our panel and audience. Before we begin, the student project presentation, allow us to briefly outline the timekeeping guidelines for all presentation teams.
At the 6-minute mark, a single chime sounds to indicate that you have 2 minutes minutes remaining for your presentation.
And at the 8-minute mark, a triple chime will sound, signifying that your presentation time has officially ended.
We kindly invite the first team, Mr. Vian Dian Dutt, Mr. Kwat Chi Pao, and Ms. Punyalapro Rashidakon to come to the stage and begin the presentation. Please join me in giving a warm round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are, Today we will present our research proposal titled Com- Comparative Analysis Water Quality Implication for Environmental Sustainability and Renewable Energy. We are comparing three water short, KVIS town, the river and low river. Uh, Water is essential for life and green energy. However, fresh water quality is getting worse due to human activities like farm runoffs, waste from homes and agriculture. The problem in checking this change in difficulty because we have simple real-world data comparing close by system with open flowing river. Furthermore, poor water quality directly harms renewable energy systems like hydropower, high amount of sediment and pollutant lower turbine efficiency and threaten aquatic plant and animal. It shows in your project had three main objectives. First, to measure and compare four key water parameters: pH, electrical conductivity (EC), total solidity and salinity using a portable 4-in-1 tester. Second, to evaluate how human activity like farming and wind affect its life. Third, to offer practical ideas for sustainable uh, water protection and green energy planning. The research will run from 3rd August to September 17th, 2026. Now, Speaker Chu will explain the hypothesis and testing method.
Thank you, Brenda. Based on the land use, based on the land use environment, we have three main hypotheses. First, low river is expected to have the highest EC, TDS, and analyses. Because of run from farms and residential areas. Second, down river is expected to have lower pollution levels than low rivers because dams and reservoirs can trap some sediment, and minerals. Finally, KVIS pond is expected to have the lowest EC, TDS, and salinity because it's a closed system with as outside runoff. However, its pH may change more because of its a smaller water volume and algae. For our experiment, we will use a YY400 tester, 250 ml breakers, and distilled water tissue paper. We will choose 3 locations at each site and collect 3 samples from each location. Giving us 3 samples per site, we will collect water 15 to 30 centimeters below the surface and record the location, date, and time. Then we will test each sample using the YY400 tester. After 10 to 30 seconds, we will record the pH, EC, TDS, and salinity. After each test, we will dry the prop, and with the distilled water, we will also repeat each test 3 times to improve accuracy. That is our hypothesis, materials, and methodology. Now, Punjalat will discuss our schedule, benefits, and long-term goals.
Next, we go to the project schedule. First, in phase 1, in 3rd to 9th August, we will preparation and select sampling site. Phase 2, in 10th to 23rd August, we will do an exploration and data analysis. In the third phase, 24th to 7th, we will do a summary discussion of results. Next, this is significance of our project. By comparing the KVIS pond, river in Vietnam, the study shows how different environment directly impact water quality. Measuring parameters TDS, EC, pH, and salinity. This helps identify pollution from dairy farms, local waste, and dam operation. It also takes whether several devices like the Wildlife 400 is a taster the water, are practical and accurate enough for quick field measurements. The last one is sustainability plan. This project will establish the water quality monitoring framework for KVIS pond, river, and the river. Finding the liabilities for renewable energy, infrastructure planning, and environmental protection. While stakeholder engagement ensure policy remain effective long terms. That's all for our proposal presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Next, there will be a time for the Q&A session.
Thank you, my students. I have 2 questions. First, how do you get a water sample from the 2 rivers in Vietnam? Right? Because this is based on the real sample input from Vietnam, right? So you did experiment before you came here?
Sorry, can you ask me again?
อะไรนะครับ I asked how do you get water samples from the two rivers in Vietnam? Why am I here?
We get the water from KVIS pond and also Vietnam's river too. So we make sure it treat water source.
มาพูดดังๆนะ can you speak into the microphone? Make it louder.
Okay, we measures are in KVIS and Vietnamese too.
I will say it.
No, that's after you. It's a post camp. It's a post camp activity. Okay. It's a camp activity. Second, to rivers in Vietnam. Do you raise fish in cages in rivers? When I went to Vietnam, I saw many fishermen raising freshwater fish in cages in river. Do you raise fish in cages like this in two rivers? Freshwater fish raising in rivers. Can anyone of the Vietnamese teacher help me to ask question? I asked whether in Vietnam, I noticed that there is fish, freshwater fish, right, in cages, in rivers. That's why I asked whether these two rivers, there is fish in fish cages as well. Freshwater fish, instead of raising in ponds, right, you have flowing water in rivers. Because the water quality will determine whether you can raise fish in rivers.
In the river and low river, there are two big rivers in Vietnam, and people also raise fish in the river. Yeah, especially in the river, we have a reservoir. Yeah, for the electricity there, so people raise fish there.
Yeah. Can you explain to them in Vietnamese as well? My question.
Ý là thầy hỏi là cái chỗ sông của mình ấy, thì có nuôi cá hay không?
Mostly in the river, I took it.
Mình ở trường mình ở gần chỗ sông Lô và sông Đà nên là mình có thể lấy các cái mẫu nước ở đó rất là dễ dàng nên là các bạn có thể giải quyết thầy như vậy. Our school is situated near the river and low river, so students can collect water sample there easily. Yeah, so they can see the river and they can also see the life there.
I think this project is very useful if you can do say a one year measurement, right?
Yeah.
Because the water quality is seasonal.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they get take a long-term measurement.
Thank you for the Q&A session. Next, we would like to invite Ms. Nguyen Yen Lin, Ms. Din Tin Nguyen An, and Ms. Anita Satsisi on the stage. Please welcome. Hello everyone, welcome to Group 2. Today we would like to introduce you with our project, a scientific cooperation between Thailand and Vietnam in order to create a water filtration with, using only agricultural waste. So, as you all may know, water pollution has always been increasingly serious issues. And although Thailand and Vietnam is well known for being agriculture major countries, but many rural areas still have difficulties in accessing clean water. They often have to use contaminated water, which contains a lot of microplastics, a substance that is really dangerous for the environment and human health. Although commercial filtration systems do exist, it is really expensive for low-incomers to afford. Meanwhile, agriculture waste are available everywhere, and they are discarded to the environment every year without any recycling activities. So this has inspired us with a research question. Can local agricultural waste be turned into an effective, affordable, and environmentally friendly water filter? So, to answer this question, we have developed a water filtration system using only local agriculture residues to address water pollution. So during the process, we will compare three different nature materials, including coconut shells, sugarcane backfish, and rice husks, with filtered layers too. After that, we will have 9 experimental groups. All the filters will be tested with waters containing microplastics and other suspended particles so that we can know the function of the filtration. So after that, we will evaluate the performance of each filters based on 3 factors. First is the sterility reduction. Second is microplastic remover. And finally is filtration flow rate. And this project is expected to cover these outcomes. First, we hope to improve the water quality by removing dangerous substances away from it. And second, we aim to identify the most effective combination of material filter with level of thickness so that we can have best results to present. And finally, this project promotes the relationships between Vietnam and Thailand scientific collaboration, which will strengthen our relationships. So, in order to give you a fully detailed about our experiment, I will give the mic to Katie, my teammate. Now let's take a look at the methodology, which the independent variable, there are 2 independent variables, which is the type of natural filler material, which is coconut husk fiber, rice husk, and baguette. And another independent variable is the thickness of the natural filler filter, which is 2, 4, and 6 centimeters. These are the dependent variables, and these are the control variables. This is our experimental design, and let's go into the conduction steps. Now, for the step 1 is the preparation of filter materials. So, first of all, we'll grind and cut the natural filler materials like coconut husk, rice husk, and baguette. Next, we'll pass the natural materials, coarse sand and biochar, which we will use into the sand sieves to control the size of the particles. Then we'll wash all our material thoroughly with distilled water to rinse all the impurities out. And then we'll oven dry our materials at 6 degrees Celsius for 24 hours to make sure it's dry. Now for the second step is the construction of filtration columns. First of all, we'll use a clear PVC tubes or identical plastic bottles and place a fine steel or mesh or glass bowl at the bottom to prevent the substance we fill to the tube to go out. And next, we will pack the materials tightly to prevent channeling or water bypassing the filler, in other words. Then we will layer all of the components listed above together. For the next step is the preparation of artificially turbid water, which we will mix 5 grams of kaolin clay per 500 milliliters of water to make the turbid water. And for the microplastic, we will add 10 milligrams of HDPE microplastics per 5 milliliters of water, 500 milliliters. Now for the filtration, we will pour 500 milliliters of turbid water into each filtration column, and we'll start a stopwatch immediately to measure the time used for water to flow out. Next, for the water quality measurement, we will measure the turbidity, the flow rate, titration time, ECTDS, pH, and microplastic amount. And we will repeat the experiment 3 times for a constant and sure result. And for the data analysis, we will calculate the turbidity using this formula. We'll calculate the flow rate, filtration time, EC, TDS, pH, and compare the filtration performance among different materials and thicknesses. Now let me pass on the mic to Anne to talk about the hypothesis.
Now we have 2 main hypotheses. First, the table and the thickness of natural filter material can easily.
So for the first hypothesis, both the type and thickness of the natural filter media significantly influence the efficiency of water filtration. And for the second, we think that increasing the thickness of the natural filler layer will improve the turbidity and removal, but it will reduce the filtration flow rate.
Now I would like to explain the financial breakdown. One of the biggest challenges of our project is low cost. We don't need expensive equipment because the experiment can be carried out in the laboratory and even at home. The main materials such as sugarcane, processed, and coconut shell are agricultural waste can easily find and often free. As a result, the overall cost of our project is very low while still producing an effective and sustainable water filtration system. Then our project follows a 5-step optimization roadmap. We start by collecting and preparing local agricultural waste. Then we build our filtration system and test the prototype. Then we carry out daily experiments to measure how effectively remove microplastic. After that, we analyze the results and improve the filter design when needed. Finally, we summarize the results and suggest the practical application for communities. That's it on my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Group 2, for your presentation. Now let's move on to the 3 minutes of Q&A sessions with our panel audience. Any questions from the audience?
Well, perhaps a different question. What would be, well, one thing is, I think we might have to assume something, like for example, the husk would be the same in Thailand and Vietnam or not, or the water quality that you are putting into the filtration system would be the same, or what would that?
For the husk, each school will use different materials. like the coconut husk for KVIS, rice husk for Hukun, and baguettes for 112 high school. And for the water quality, we didn't use the water from the natural resources. We mixed clay with a 500. We mixed 5 milligrams of clay with 500 milliliters of water, so it is controlled and it won't vary and add a variable to the experiment.
Okay, that leads to a second question. Knowing that perhaps there are differences between the materials from Vietnam and Thailand, then the result, what would be the conclusion? So that we can just conclude, okay, you use one material from another country. What would be the use of another country if the materials are different?
So for here, we're comparing the type of natural filter, which one is the most effective in purifying the water. So it's like we conduct 3 tests to compare which material can filter the water the best. And we also compare the thickness to see what thickness of the material used can purify the water and make it pure.
Right, that's the purpose. But then the use of the results, knowing that the materials may or may not be the same in different countries. For example, you use the husk from one country, when you apply it to another country, would that be the same? Because the material may be the breed of the mix of the plant will be different.
Oh, you mean the different type of husk in different countries?
Like coconut will be different breed from 2 countries, within one country. But then the rice is different. Yes, the usage of the results would have to be somehow improved in a way that doesn't limit the usage.
So in Vietnam and Thailand, I believe that we both have the same material from the nature. Because in Vietnam, we do have the same type of coconut as in Thailand, and other materials like rice husk or basage are available everywhere in Vietnam and both Thailand. So I think that the results after being conducted can be applied in other countries. Thank you for your question. Next, we would like to invite Ms. Bùi Tham Yu, Ms. Đinh Thanh Ngọc, and Ms. Tritamon Vipusnapani to the stage. Please give them a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, all the teachers and students. We are group 3. My name is Đinh Thanh Ngọc from Golden High School.
My name is Tritamon Vipusnapani from KVIS. My name is Daniel from Batu High School for the Gifted.
So, our project is comparative study of bacterial cellulose powders derived from Thai black tea and Vietnamese green teas for water retention in sandy soil. Let me talk about the executive summaries. You know that the climate change and water security have affected the agriculture a lot. This studies material formulations and studies stabilities in sandy soil at different saturations. The aim is to find an eco-friendly and cost-effective solutions to enhance the water retention and promote sustainable agriculture while reducing dependence on synthetic materials.
So we move to the background and the problem statement. As you can see, water scarcity and the poor sandy soils are the major challenges while in agriculture for both Vietnam and Thailand. And you can see that the sandy soils have a very large pores, but very little organic matter, and it contains the water is not very well. As a result, the water will drains away very quickly and causing the drought stress, lower the nutrients uptake, and the reduce the crop yields also. Since the agriculture use more than 70% of the world's fresh water, so we think that to improve a better solution for sustainability farming is the thing that we must do right now. But there's one problem is that the current solutions right now, such as synthetic hydrogels, it still hold the water, but it is too expensive, and it is not biodegradable, and it still causes the microplastic pollution. So there is a thing that I think is very hard to our environmental problem. So we need to create a new sustainable solution for the soil. So one proposing solution is kombucha. That is a fermented tea using made a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, or we can call SCOBY in short. And we will see the final results of the bacterial cellulose powders made from two types of tea, is black tea from Thailand and green tea from Vietnam. And this research aims to identify which tea source can produce a better bacterial cellulose from the two powders. And we also aim to offer a low-cost and environmentally friendly solution for sustainable farming. Next is our objectives. First is to synthesize bacterial cellulose from Thai black tea and Vietnamese green tea. The second is to evaluate and compare the water holding capacity of sandy soil mixed with Thai black tea and Vietnamese green tea bacterial cellulose powder at 3 application ratios. Moving on to our research questions and hypothesis. Our research question is, how does the tea substrate type affect the water holding capacity of bacterial cellulose treated sandy soil? Based on this, we hypothesize that bacterial cellulose powder synthesized from Vietnamese green tea and Thai black tea will result in significantly different water holding capacity in treated sandy soil. Next is scope of work. First is biological material and bacterial strain. We use active co-contact bacterial silent liquid that derive from unpasteurized Italian cocoa. And second, fermentation substrate. We use Thai black tea that brew at 100 degrees Celsius and Vietnamese green tea that brew at 80 to 85 degrees Celsius and added with 100 grams per liter of glucose. Third is fermentation condition. Single-step static culture at room temperature for 14 days per cycle for both startup phase and main synthesis phase. Continuing with soil metric and application ratios, we use oven dry at 105 degrees Celsius and sieve with
lower than 2 millimeters sandy soil, and we test with core ratios and with 3 replicates. Next is evaluation parameters. We focus on quantitative measurement by using 16-minute gravity drainage filtration methods. Our variable, the independent variable is the type of tea. The dependent variable is the water holding capacity, and the control variables are initial size and weight of Natali cocoa, containers, storage duration, and storage temperature. And these are our materials. Moving on to our methods, we divide into 4 main steps. First is soil culture preparation. We brew black and green tea with 10% glucose, and we added the Natali cocoa that contains Comandante bacteria, Silenus satyr, and ferment for 14 days. Step 2, for the main synthesis of bacterial cellulose, we set up 6 main jars with tea starter, and we add the tea starter liquid and starter SCOBY that we get from the step 1. And we ferment for 14 days to synthesize new bacterial cellulose layers. Step 3, we harvest and soak the bacterial cellulose in distilled water for 24 hours to remove the acid, and we oven dry at 60 degrees Celsius, mill and sieve into fine bacterial cellulose powder. And for the last step, testing water holding capacity, we mix seed sandy soil with BC powder and test 16-minute gravity drainage with 100 milliliters of water and calculate the water holding capacity.
About the time, I'll talk about our timeline. We have 4 main phases. First is the starter, where we prepare our materials, and step 2, so the phase 2 is, according to the step 2, is we dry the tea leaf and then put it in process in the powders. And phase 3 and phase 2 is the same, and the phase 4 is where when we calculate and evaluate the water's retentions.
Okay, so these are our financial breakdown. So the last one is significance and sustainability. So we will see that we have 3 content on both significance and sustainability. Eco-friendly soil conditioner, value-added fermentation, water conservation for significance, as you can see on the screen, and zero chemical waste, scalable and low cost, sustainable agriculture for the long-term sustainability. And these are our presentation. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your presentation. Let's move on to the 3-minute Q&A session.
I would like to ask a very simple question. When you start the project, why don't you choose a type of tea differently? Like for Thai, you use black tea, and Vietnamese, you use green tea. And does it affect any result?
We choose different type of tea, and we choose them based on the local tea, because black tea is the Thai local tea, and green tea is the Vietnamese local tea, and it will affect the results because that is our independent variable that we make difference, because we want to compare the result of the bacterial cellulose that affect the water holding capacity from the tea.
Are there any more questions?
Thank you for your presentation. I wonder what is the source of the bacteria that you are going to use for the starter? The starter? We will use the nata cocoa that contains Bacterius. What is that? Okay. So it is can be possible to buy online or something. It's possible because it's a coconut jelly that we can find. Okay, so make sure that you can get the same source of bacteria if you want to compare between the
We decide to buy it online and in the same source. So we don't worry about the material because we can make sure that we use the same like cherry coconuts.
Okay. And another question is about the type of bacteria. Are you sure that it is only one culture for the salt that you buy? I mean, for the type of bacteria, they will get only one strain or the other things mixture? And do you think would be effect to the result? They might be more than one type of bacteria, but I don't think it will affect the result because if we control the nata cocoa from the same source, it will be the same for every experiment. So for my recommendation is like if you have the same source and you have mixture of bacteria and you culture it in the different condition, it means that some kind of bacteria can grow faster compared to the other. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your advice.
Thank you for your question, and thank you, Group 3, for your presentation. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Lei Guangwei, Mr. Lian Guangnong, and Mr. Pisi Wu to lead up onto the stage. Please give them a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing? I hope you're doing really well, obviously. My name is Vin. I'm from Harbatu High School for the Kid. And here are my two partners, one from KVIS named EQ, and one from London High School whose name is Nam. And today we are so delighted to be here. Firstly, before we start, let's imagine today is a really hot day outside, about 40 or 45 degrees C. So you decide to turn on the air conditioner. However, the temperature outside is much higher than the temperature inside your room. So, of course, the air conditioner needs more energy to run and to maintain a low temperature. So, we have a question. What if we could reduce the amount of heat entering our home? It's difficult, right? So now we can answer our questions by starting our presentation. One more time, welcome to our presentation. The topic is evaluating insulation materials for energy efficiency home. So, firstly, let's get to know about our hypothesis. If insulation materials with lower thermal conductivity and greater thickness are used in cooling models, the rate of heat transfer will decrease. Therefore, these materials will reduce heat loss more effectively and improve the thermal insulation performance of the cooling systems. So everybody, in our project, we will evaluate some different kinds of insulation materials and thickness using the Fourier's law of heat conduction to find the best way to reduce heat transfer and energy consumption, and ultimately we really hope that our findings can contribute to a more sustainable Earth, a sustainable future. So we want to ask, we want to share that why is our problem is so important. Let's see this guy is a pie chart. And it's from International Energy Agency in 2018. So, according to International Energy Agency in 2018, they show that the cooling, how can I say, the cooling accounted for around 10% of the whole global electric use. So you can see that although it's only 10%, but this figure shows that improving the efficiency of the cooling systems can have a really significant impact on the global energy consumption. You know, poor installation, I have to say that it can affect significantly to our Earth. So let's imagine when the heat outside enters the system will need more energy to maintain a low temperature, and this can increase your electricity cost and also contribute to a higher greenhouse gas emissions. Therefore, improving the thermal insulation is really important for reducing energy consumption and supporting a sustainable Earth in the future. So now, how our project will work exactly, I will let my partner from Texas you. Give a big applause, please.
Our objective is after we identify our problem, so what for the next question is what exactly we will do for this project. So we will study about heat transfer rate to different insulation materials, and we will helping our room to reduce heat loss in cooling system. So our methodology, at first we will start with choosing 3 to 4 different materials with different thermal conductivity, and then we will build the cooling model from each material with the same size, same value, same surface area, but with different material and thickness. Third, we will test it under the same condition in the same quantity and temperature. And fourth, we will measure the temperature inside and outside the box, and we will calculate the heat transfer rate from Fourier law. And finally, we will compare our result of each material and each thickness. So when we measure the temperature, we have to measure the temperature at steady state, which the temperature inside and outside the box is not changed anymore, and we have to use the Fourier law to calculate the heat transfer rate too. Thank you. And let's see that our plan is reasonable for in terms of time and budget.
Thank you, AQ. Now I know that you may be wondering that can we finish this project in 2 months? And my answer is yes. It will take we will take the 8 weeks. We will divide it into the 4 phases. First, we need during the week 1 and 2 we will learn about the Fourier law. Choose the material, and we build the test center and collect the equipment. And we also create the sensor. And week 3 to 5, is an experimentation, conduct the preliminary and the main test, collect the temperature and the energy data. Week 6 to 7 is in the analysis tab, analyze the result, and we compare the material, and we write the final report. Finally, in the week 8, we will prepare our slide and present our finding. Now we're going to talk about the budgets. The total estimated budget is about $25 US. Um, mm,
So here we have the budget for our 8 weeks.
We can spend around $10 for the cardboard process, for board, and board. We will spend $5 for the tape, glue, and the sealing material, and $8 for the $8 for the printing and documentation. So, since our student research team work as volunteers, so there are no costs, there are no labor costs, we also, I think that our project will be affordable and useful one. And now I'm going to talk about the significance. First, we have several important benefits. First, this is the energy saving. Better insulation less heat enter the cooling system, can reduce the electricity and the physics can work better. Then, secondly, in the environmental benefit, you can.
Excuse me, the time is up. Next is the Q&A session for 3 minutes.
So sorry for keeping you waiting for our presentation to finish, but at the end we just want to say that let's create a sustainable earth together. Thank you so much for listening.
Is there any questions from the audience?
Thank you for your exciting presentation. However, I'm not certain what exactly you would like to work on, because, actually to create a certain heat protection wall, or roof, or box, or if you have notices and method to show that at least, so that we can understand your progress. It's like you do not show us many of the so-called scientific progress in your proposal. How do you plan to do this experiment? I mean, do you plan to use what kind of light source? What kind of heat source? What type of materials that you prefer? Would there be a low-cost material coming from locally available materials, or you want to compare different materials that comes from very same material metrics? Your hypothesis should be a bit more clear than this, so that we can follow. Okay. Would you like to elaborate on your method and how you do your experiment?
about the material, I think we will use cardboard, wood, and coconut shell. And for our method, I think we should discuss later.
So we're going to be host camp, okay, working with. All right.
Thank you for your question and thank you for your presentation. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Vian Ha Lin, Mr. Din Kong Tian, and Mr. Wachiravit Viryagun to the stage. Please give them a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Group 5. And it's our honor to be here presenting our project on using phytoplankton as a bioindicator to monitor water quality in freshwater sources adjacent to schools across Southeast Asia. To begin with, let me introduce my group. My group has 3 members. The first one is Đinh Công Tiến from Hương Tân High School. The second one is Nguyễn Hà Linh from Hangatu High School for the Gifted. And the last one is Google from KVIS. So let's begin our presentation.
Okay, let's start with our proposal of the project. So we know that nowadays the water quality near the water source of our school is critical to represent our research because it can influence the overall well-being and the health of the personnel or the student itself in the school. However, after our interview, we have found that there is no existing research that should specify the water quality assessment in the school place area. As a result, we have chosen to conduct a website project that will determine the water quality inside the water source of the school and the school is assessed water source. So in this project, we have chosen the phytoplankton as an indicator. So why we choose phytoplankton? Well, basically, phytoplankton is a fundamental resource that creates aquatic food web in the marine. And importantly, phytoplankton has an incredible response to the environmental changes such as temperature change, nutritional change, or the seasonal change. So in this project, we have 3 main objectives. First, we will use the biological indices and scientific impact and the physical temperature to evaluate the water quality. And next, we will evaluate how the environmental influence such as the road or the civil urbanization has an influence on the water quality. And lastly, we will integrate this biological method that use phytoplankton to determine the water quality in compared with the existing method that use that has been published there. And this is our study site. Our study site consists in 2 countries. First is the KVIS located in the Southeast Thailand, and next is the Vietnam country, which has 2 schools. First school is the Hương Tân High School. The school is surrounded by a rice paddy, which emphasize high nutrition dry eutrophication. And next is the Hongmatu High School for the Gifted. This school is surrounded by a urbanization area, which represent the area that has influenced by the urbanization. And lastly, is the Mobisai Academy. This area is represent the contrast between the seasonality and the agriculturality. That in this area, there is an improvement on the agriculture that try to implement the technology into the agriculture daily life. And this sample methodology. First, we will collect the water source from the surface water in the school adjacent water source near the school. And then we will contain the water source inside a head and in a polyethylene container. And then we immediately after that we will inject the glucose and we use to preserve
After that, we will let the gravitational force do their work by letting the sample sit for 24 hours. After that, we will use the glass rod to stir the sample. After that, we will use the pipette. It's just a pipette to sample the work, and then we will put the sample into the glass slide to examine under the microscope.
So, to ensure accurate analysis, we will need a few key tools. The first one is the local iodine solution. It will stay the phytoplankton for easier microscopic observation, and it will stop the biological activity, preserving our sample as collected. Second, we will sterile their HDPE sample bottle. They are durable, chemical resistant, and is easy to clean. The white mouth design will make their sampling easier, and the bottle can be reused, supporting our sustainability goals. The third one, we will use the school microscope to their data analysis. The estimated material is 250 millimeter of local iodine and 250 millimeter of the HDPE sample bottle. So after our sample reach the laboratory, we will use some biological indices to analyze them. The first one is Standard Winner Index. It will be our main tool. They can consider both the species weakness and abundance. A high value, typically about 3, they can indicate a diverse and stable ecosystem, while the lower value may suggest environmental threat or pollution. Second, dominant index will identify the most abundant species. Diatoms such as nature or navicular are often dominant in organical polluted water. Third, the Saprobic index. It will evaluate organic pollution, ranging from oligosaccharide or clean water to the polysaccharide or heavily polluted water. Several approaches have shown that the site next to human settlement have higher pollution level and lower phytoplankton diversity. So let's move on to the budget. Our total estimated cost ranges from 60 to 80 US dollar. The main expenses is Google iodine, which cost around $41. 3 types of HDPE sample bottle, it will cost around $15 to $20. And the microscope are provided by our school free charge, and all the work is done by our members, so the labor cost will be free. About the timeline, our project spans 2 months. In the first month, we will focus on preparation and field work. Week 1, we will finalize the study design and purchase the material. Week 2, we will go to the field to collect the sample, and we will measure physically parameter, and we use the local iodine to fix them. Week 3 and 4, we will let the sample settle for 24 hours, and we will decade, prepare our slide, or begin the microscopic observation. In the second month, we will focus on data analysis and reporting. Week 1, we will continue identifying and observing phytoplankton. Week 2, we will compile data and analyze community composition. Week 3, we will start reporting and creating charts. And week 4, we will finalize the results to present. Let's move on to the next part.
Okay, so why does this research matter? The first, Commune have project protect children and local community. Second, education and awareness is build environmental risk and responsibility. The third, police and management. Our data can have support better water management and pollution control. The fourth, early warning. China
The time is now up, so let's move on to the Q&A sessions with our audience.
Okay, very interesting. I observed that you have two equations, one for dominance and the other, I think it's Shannon entropy. Why do you need two? Because one would indicate whether there's dispersion of information, is that right? So why do you need both dominance and Shannon entropy?
From our literature review, we have found that some papers recommend that the channel index is useful for to represent the diversity of the system. However, the dominant can also be used to represent which species is dominant, which is subsequently useful for indeterminate because in this book or in this knowledge, we need to use the subspecies dominant to determine the quality that is kind of that has already been previously preliminarily researched about. So in this case, we need to use the dominant set to determine the kind of the dominant species to kind of find the species is dominant. So we can supposedly and subsequently use in the book.
Right. Can we just use this equation but not use the other? Because the other doesn't, it's just a mix.
Maybe I think that's maybe our version of it's maybe our first work because in this work we mostly rely on the literature very much because literature normally suggests that we should use the dominant set to highlight compare it with the literature.
In terms of this kind of project, the bioassessment, you're collecting only the data about the environment. It's going to be very difficult to actually conclude anything. I would prefer to suggest that you do some other type of test as well, like the pH, the humidity, and all other, like the oxygen dissolve and many other sampling, so that you can actually conclude what the main result and also about the diversity of whatever you find. And when only one item, it will be very difficult to do any discussion.
Thank you for your advice. Thank you for your questions, and thank you, Group 5, for your presentation. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Lei Tua Min, Mr. Din Kong Chang, and Mr. Zirawat Sirirao Paisan onto the stage for the presentation.
Hello everyone, we are Group 6. So today I would like to present you guys a practical and cost-effective solution to one of the most pressing issues in renewable energy, particularly in developing nations. How do we get more solar power out of the solar panel without significantly increasing the cost? So today our presentation content has 6 parts. So coming to the part 1 is the executive summary. So the problem nowadays is commercial PV panels still fail conversion efficiency limit, like it typically around 15 to 25%. And the second problem is the combinations experience of energy efficient and high cost of traditional solar home system. And the last problem is conventional efficiency boosting methods like sun shacking are too expensive and complex for rural deployment. So our proposed solution is that we're gonna use a method called mirror reflection, which will utilizing simple low-cost flat mirrors, planar reflectors positioned around solar panel to increase the incident light intensity. And we will use models of passive static system that require no moving part, motor or complex sensors. So the expected outcome will be like the significant performance boost. The experimental data may show an increase in start circuit current by up to 25% compared to fixed panels and around 20 to 30% improvement during peak hours. And the second is cost effectiveness. Achieve higher energy yield without the mechanical cost of additional PV panels. And the last one is practicality, a highly scalable and maintainable solution for rural electrification. So moving to the part 2 is the background and problem statement. So nowadays the efficient gap is physical limitation. Silicon-based PV cells have inherent conversion limits. Most commercial panels convert only 50% to 25% of sunlight into electricity. So we wasted potential. In regions like Bangladesh, there is massive solar potential, around 1,900 kilowatt per square meter per year, but is not fully captured due to the panel inefficiency and static mounting angles. And the last one is the cost barrier. To increase the total power output, the traditional solution is simply adding more panels. However, the price of solar modules remains a significant barrier to entry for low-income communities. So the value proposition is the first is land in area constraints. Increasing efficiency per panel is crucial when physics space for solar farms is limited. And the second is the tariff and material problem. With global supply chain fluctuation and tariff, for example, the US tariff increasing the panel cost, relying solely on purchasing more panel is risky. So enhancing the output of existing panel is a strategic necessity. And for the last proportion is proven low-tech efficacy. Recent field studies confirm that using reflectors can boost system labor and energy generation by 80% to 45%, proving that the single approach can dramatically alter the economics of solar panel. So coming to part 2 is the hypothesis.
Thank you. So our hypothesis is very simple. So if the mirror can reflect the light, then the solar panel that got reflected, then the solar panel that got reflected will produce more electrical power, and therefore the solar panel that have with the angle that bend to the optimal angle will produce the most electrical power. So the result of our rebel is first the independent is mirror angle and the dependent is electrical power, and the control variable size of the mirror, size of the solar panel, rating of the solar panels, and yeah. So the objective is to using theoretical knowledge to calculate the most optimal angle of the mirror that will reflect the light into the solar panel, so that the solar panel will produce the most electrical power, and we will conduct an experiment to test those results. And yeah, the scope is using theoretical to calculate, and then using and conduct an experiment to test the data. So let's go to our procedure. So first, we will use our knowledge to calculate the most optimal angle of the mirror, so that is make the solar panel produce the most electrical power, and we will choose 6 variables around that calculated variable to be to conduct an experiment. So then we will set up the experiment by having 2 solar panels that have the same size. So and then we will set up the microcontroller and other sensor to collect the data. Then we will conduct the experiment in 6 days. So in 3 hours period in each day, and in those period we will divide into 30 minutes time windows. So every day we will conduct 6 different configurations of the mirror, and then we will collect the data by the microcontroller and store it in our SD cards with connect to the controller. And then we will analyze the data and conclude the most optimal angle of the mirror.
Okay, let's talk about the detailed financial breakdown. As you can see, this is all the instrument in here, and you can see the total price is a very large number. But don't worry, the most of the components are already provided, and therefore the realistic cost will be a lot less. Let's talk about our schedule. Our schedule. With the first week, we will study and designing model. With the 2 next week, we will crafting and assembly and testing. About the 3 next week is the most critical, because this is the week for conduct experiments and collect data. And the 2 last week is summarize data and complete the project. Let's talk about the significance. As you can see in the screen, the first is improving solar energy utilization efficiency. The second is increased capacity without expanding the installation footprint and reduce the investment cost. The third is contributing to the development of clean energy. So the sustainability, as you can see on the screen, because we don't have much time to present. So
I think the time is up now. Next is the Q&A session for 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. I have 2 observations. Apart from using mirrors, you can use sensors which will last longer than mirror, or you can use reflecting film. Okay. In the long run, you have to think about the material cost. That's something. With stainless steel, you can get reflectivity very close to 90% like mirror. The achievement is electrochemically polished stainless steel, not just simple sense, you produce it petrochemically. The second point, perhaps you can try taking data in the long run. What you can do is that instead of changing the angle in short interval when you test period, you can think of a long term like 1 year, and then you change the angle maybe 2 or 3 times a year, and that is much more practical than changing it every few minutes. Okay? You ask the teachers how to calculate the energy that you will receive with fixed angle, but change it maybe every 3 or 4 months.
Thank you for the Q&A session, and thank you, Group 6, for your presentation.
One quick question. How do you plan to divide your work among the two countries? I mean, this is a great engineering project, but you have to be aware that this is international collaborating project. How are you going to work together? Okay.
Our plan is that we will conduct the experiment mainly in Vietnam because they have like the solar panel that can be used, and we can also make set up the microcontroller in Thailand, and we will ship it to Vietnam.
Thank you for the Q&A session, and thank you, Group 6, for your presentation. Next, we would like to invite Ms. Do Min Ji, Mr. Nguyen Chi Kong, and Ms. Pisini Intip to the stage. Please give them a big round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. So, before we begin, let's start a quick activity. Left hand if you have feel much hotter than ever than the forecast said, and right hand if you feel much colder than the forecast said. So clap your hand to our group start the presentation. So first, our group 7 represents the impact of relative humidity on distress rates among boarding school students between Vietnam and Thailand. So as everyone knows, during the monsoon season, people usually rely on the air temperature to judge how hot it is. However, the relative humidity makes it harder for sweat to evaporation. Make it harder to spread the evaporation. So our group today will compare the Vietnam and Thailand compares the Vietnam and Thailand. So as everyone knows, in Thailand and Vietnam, we have both tropical monsoon seasons. And we usually, and the weather forecast usually depends on the air temperature. So today, our school schedule in Vietnam, we have 7 a.m. and in Thailand we have 8:30 a.m. to compare the presentations. So next part we will, it is our research work. Our research will compare Thailand and Vietnam, and we develop the heat risk advisory framework and create an outdoor safer activity for students. Next part to the objective and scope of work.
For objective and scope of work, the main objective is to investigate how relative humidity influences the heat index during the monsoon season in Thailand and Vietnam. And the specific objective is to measure the temperature of dye drop and wet bulb to calculate RH, HI, and delta HI between Thailand and Vietnam, and identify peak heat risk periods and recommend safer outdoor activities. For scope of work, the study period is on August to September 2026 at Thailand and Vietnam, and measurement time is 7 a.m., 8:30 a.m., 12 p.m., and 5 p.m. And equipment is DIY psychrometer. Now, next is methodology. The first step is to create DIY psychrometer to measure the temperature between dry bulb and wet bulb. And we place it on shaded area and place it 1.5 meter above ground. Next step is data collection procedure. 2-week studies, 3 collection days, and 1 backup day. We measured at 7 a.m., 8:30 a.m., 12 p.m., and 5 p.m. And for wet bulb, we fan in 1 to 2 minutes to accelerate water evaporation and reach thermal equilibrium, and record temperature of dye bulb and wet bulb in degrees Celsius. Next is non-qualitative weather conditions for contextual. Next step is to calculate RH, HI, and delta HI. And the last step is to compare delta HI across 4 time slots between Thailand and Vietnam and identify peak heat risk period, monsoon season, humidity effects, and to develop outdoor activity guidelines. For the timeline, week 1, we will create the DIY psychrometer. For week 2 and week 3, we collect the data. Week 4, we back up data collection. Week 5, we analyze the statistical, and week 6 until week 8, we will done final project report writing.
Finally, I would like to present the significance and sustainable abilities of our project. Our project has improved understanding of the relationships between relative humidity and heat index. Yes. It shows that heat stress depends not only on air temperature, but also on humidity. And this information can help boarding schools identify high risk areas and make safer decisions when planning outdoor activities for students. More, our project is also sustainable because the monitoring method is simple, low cost, and easy to replicate. And the school can continue to collect data in the future, and the framework can also be adapted by other boarding schools in tropical monsoon region. And I expect this outcome in a localized health risk advisory framework that helps schools accurately assess heat stress and safely plan our activity during the monsoon season. And in conclusion, the key message of our project is air temperature tells us how hot the air is. Relative humidity determines how hot it actually feels. By understanding both, we can better protect students, staff, and the campus environment during the monsoon season. And finally, thank you everyone for listening to our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Next will be a brief 4-minute Q&A session from the panels and the audience. Does anyone have any question?
All right, thank you very much. I think your team has shown the very hard and behind the soul of this camp. I mean, you use the thing that you studied from here and try to work together on something that not only in one country can answer your hypothesis. Your hypothesis want to compare between Vietnam and Thailand, and well, different school time, well, which is reflecting in the work that has to be explored together. But there are also certain things that you can improve from the thing that you learned from here, like you use the wet bulb and dry bulb instrumentation method. But is it possible to get better accuracy, like using sort of application in your phone? Or can you use other handheld probe to improve that? Can you think of this or some other method to help? I know that you know that there are applications to use and probing humidity, right? Okay, you must think about this already, why you are not using those applications, but the result you want to use the wet bulb, dry bulb method. If you have no reason, it's fine, just say, no, we have no reason, we just want to use it.
I think to measure by web and dive can apply for some conditions, especially air. But I think from application, it's not.
All right, you can answer us after you have the brainstorming and comes out with your mentor. You will get two reasons for that. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for your questions, and thank you, Group 7, for your presentation. Now let's move on to the final group. May I invite Mr. Bui Huang Hai, Ms. Nguyen Chen Fen Lee, and Ms. Palida Burana Wei Lim onto the stage for the presentation. Please give them a round of applause. my grouping Hai and Lin will present about the performance evaluation of battery power and solar battery hybrid energy system using small electric vehicle models. So first of all, I will explain briefly about the battery in traditional car work. It has divided into three phases. The first phase is the standby mode. It will supply low voltage power to essential vehicles, electronic when the engine is turned off, and ignition phase it will surge current or CCA to power the starter motor, and in running phase it will connect to the electrical circuit while the engine driven alternator power the vehicles. So based on the traditional battery, it has three main problems. First one, based on the study, it showed that ambient temperature significantly accelerates the self-discharge rate and grid collision in the acid battery following the uninstall, it will lead to the rapid capacity loss. And next, for the U.S. Department of Energy or DOA, it has said that indicate only about 12 to 30% of the fuel energy is used to move the car. The rest is lost by the heat, friction, or another things. And based on the study in 2013, it has said that the system operates under the closed loop dependency, which means that zero of the auxiliary generation occurs during parking, leaving the battery strictly vulnerable to uncompensated parasitic drain. Which means that we have three main problems: battery capacity loss, efficiency drop, and heavy grid dependency. So, fortunately, Thailand and Vietnam have a high average solar irradiance, so about 4.5 to 5.5 kilowatt hours per meter square per day, which means that we can provide an ideal environment to utilize rooftop solar PV as an auxiliary power supply for battery. This brings us to the research question: can integrating rooftop solar PV creating hybrid energy effectively reduce battery discharge rates and improve overall efficiency of traditional car models? So next time we talk about the overview of our project.
We have, because of the aforementioned problems, we have known that the traditional car consumes a lot of energy and is very inefficient overall. But with the regional context provided, we have came up with a solution. Why don't we implement a rooftop solar PV that in turn can provide additional energy for our car, and it will maintain the battery and extend our driving range. So, by following through with that trend, we have come up with a hypothesis. By implementing a solar PV and MPPT system, the maximum power point tracker, into a small toy car, then the battery voltage drop can be negated compared to a traditional battery-only toy car, because the solar power relieves the battery load. And our objective in proving this hypothesis is to measure delta V, the current amps, and the power usage over fixed test runs within an 8-week time frame. And after that, we'll compare the results of both cars. Now, for our scope of work, we like to keep it simple and clear, with small-scale toy cars with simple configurations, one with a solar panel and one without a solar panel. And our testing environment will be controlled and very simple with smooth surfaces such as tabletops or floors. And the metrics in order to compare both cars can be easily measurable with accessible tools such as a two toy cars, battery packets, solar panel, tungsten bulb, light level reader, timer, connecting wires, switch, and a measuring tape, which is 2 meters in length. So, for our procedure, we will assemble two cars. One is conventional, one only powered by a battery, and one will have a solar panel attached to it. We set up the 2-meter track, ensuring that both cars has the same variables, and then we will release each car without pushing. We will record the time and setup, and maintain and keep the MPPT module stable. And we are going to do it for 5 tries. After that, we will calculate and compare the performance of both cars. And the expected result is that the hybrid car will perform much better than the non-hybrid one, proving the hypothesis. Yeah. So let's move on to Phương for the breakdown of the completion.
Now I would like to talk about the project timeline, and the project will take 8 weeks to complete. And the first week 1 and 2, we review literature, research MPPT, and planning other experiments. And in 3 and 4, we gather materials and set up experiments, including assembling cars, measurement tools, and during the week 5 and 6, we will conduct experiments and data collections. In the final, in week 7 and 8, we will analyze data, come to final and report. And this expenditures breakdown, we can see each items and total cost of material is 560,000 Vietnam, about 711 Thai baht. And move to conclusions. Battery protection. We expect ability to reduce voltage drop and have a 10 battery life. And for stability, we expect our small-scale hybrid model to demonstrate the potential of design. The final end of valley. This project will provide a cleaner and more affordable solution for some emissions such as Vietnam and Thailand. And this is a reference which my team is well placed into the project. And thank you for listening. Do you have any questions?
Thank you for your presentation. Next up is the Q&A session for 4 minutes.
All right, well, very interesting. One question is, you said that the battery has stress, correct? And you would like to reduce the stress or use that stress to do something. Is that correct?
Yes, it is correct.
Is the stress a lot that you can use to do something? Is that a big problem?
Battery stress can be a very huge problem because it can reduce the battery life of the car model, and can also cause a lot of problems with the voltage, and just causing and impacting the power output very negative.
Right. Then this stress, I didn't catch how are you going to measure the stress through something, or you directly measure that stress, whether it has stress or not? No stress?
I think we will try to. I haven't considered this in my experience before, but now I think about it, I might try to seek out some measurement to measure the Irish test.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation and thank you for your questions. The PMCAF KVIS Regional Science Platform Vietnam Thailand 2026 was therefore designed as a pilot initiative, with Vietnam serving as the first cohort to develop a collaborative model between teachers and students across countries for learning processes of international science camp in earth science and earth sustainability under the concept of sustainable earth.
The Vietnam-Thailand pilot platform consists of 3 phases. The pre-camp phase builds familiarity and prepares students and teachers for international collaboration through online activities. During the 10-day camp phase at KVIS, participants explore Earth system and sustainability through academic sessions, experiments, fieldwork, and study visits. Before forming cross-country teams to develop project proposals. In the post-camp phase, the teams continue developing the applied STEM projects online for approximately 2 to 3 months under the guidance of teacher co-mentors, culminating in a final presentation in Vietnam and potential opportunities for further development on international academic platforms.
The PMCAF KVIS Regional Science Platform Vietnam Thailand Pilot 2026 was then designed as a pilot initiative.
Let's give another massive round of applause to all 8 teams. Your dedication, innovative ideas, and scientific spirit have been truly inspiring.
We will now take a short 15-minute refreshment break. Please return to the auditorium by 15:50 for our cultural performances and the official closing proceedings. Thank you. The break is at the back of the auditorium, on the 2nd floor.
ไม่ต้องมุกหลังมุก
We are about to begin the next session of our ceremony, so everyone please be seated and ready for the next cultural performance.
We are about to begin the next session of the ceremony, so everyone please be seated. Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. We hope you enjoyed your short break. To kick off the second half of our program, we have special cultural performances prepared by the talented students of our three participating schools.
First, let us welcome on stage the performance from Huang Quan Chu High School for the Gifted and Huang Can High School, Vietnam. There will be 5 performances in total. Please give them a big round of applause. suốt tối hôm nay.
Tình hoa ngắm sâu trong từng nốt nhạc, hương hoa chớp cánh theo lời ca. Ôi nghe anh sẽ thôi mình chẳng về, baby giữa đất trời còn về. Tình hoa chúa cho chung tay những tiếng hoa về đây rồi. Ngày hôm nói trăm chiều vòng tay. Tình hoa máu đỏ trong hạt lúa vàng. Tình hoa đắm đi nơi mong thơ. Tình hoa sống với nhau cùng nghĩa là. Tình hoa có trong người Việt Nam. Rừng rơi vẫn hoa kiếp trái đất hoa. Trong chiều dần mãi chân hoa. Từ vườn hoa sẽ có thêm hoa. Tình hoa.
Thank you for the first two performances from the Vietnam. The show really captures the beauty and the depth of the Vietnamese traditions and culture. Let's give them a big round of applause again for the beautiful show. as we wait for the Vietnamese performances.
Khăn piêu dệt gió vươn cành, trái tim người lính quân hành xuống sang, bước chân mấy ai quan sang, sau lưng điểm tựa bản làng quê hương. Tiếng tôi bao giờ nói sao không ai trả lời. Trong tim đau
năm rồi chỉ nhiều gian nan những trận đồn rơi những lần cùng anh dùng vai gầy lạnh lùng hy sinh chiến đấu cho đàn em cho trẻ thơ cho niềm vui tìm lại mái tóc em tôi mùi hoa sữa sao trong tâm hồn luôn muốn mơ về quê hương gia đình lời mẹ trong vai áo là nước mắt như con đêm bị rung sao trời đêm nay thật tuyệt vời biết mấy nghe người soi hàm mi tự dẫn lòng ta đi anh có biết anh gì không từ núi xanh bắc qua miền đông bao nhiêu chốn đã muộn bao lời bao tấn mong quê hương Việt Nam ơi rồi thấy vẫn đang cửa dòng nước mắt trong muôn lần này về ngõ khóa ra đi tình bước chúng ta trên cái vĩ đại không biết đến hôm nay việc gì làm phải làm ai là làm cái chim và nhỏ bé bóng trong tim và chạy lòng phai một phút gọt lên với chiến thắng thì làm thôi có thơ một vùng khác gì xương cứng những người không trắng còn không lớn nhất là sông mình một lòng và Việt Nam 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 ôi 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 mơ mộng vui lời ai rồi vào lòng ta đi bạn có thể anh gì không đừng sai băng qua biển đông vì cho ta muôn đời bạn là lại ước mơ quê hương Việt Nam ơi giờ đừng lên vẫn cao cờ bay dòng nước nắng muôn ngàn mây hãy hò hát ra đi nào Việt Nam bước chân ta về anh không biết đâu thành gì không từ màu xanh bóng hoa biển đông hãy hò hát ra đi nào Việt Nam bước chân ta về bạn có nhớ thành gì không bạn có nghe âm thanh gì không từ sái bắc qua biển đông nào kỳ trong tâm hồn người bóng la nước quê hương Việt Nam giờ đừng lên cao cờ bay sông nước nắng hãy còn cất thân mình Việt Nam bước chân ta về Mặt trời hồng bên vách núi lửa làm mây trắng con chim gì mà hót vui vang cả cánh rừng
Vui trăng ta cùng xuống trời vui trăng bay quanh bên những rừng rừng mơ như một chiều trái mắt sáng từ đỉnh một vách núi anh vui gì mà sáng đây vang cả cánh rừng vui trăng ta cùng xuống trời hương trăng bay quanh bên những rừng mơ
xuống chiều lại điều gì với em
xuống trời với em ái là chàng trai vui ngô ghê
ô rằng của nàng thấy nắng ô mà sao nàng xinh quá yêu xa nắng người mà chẳng thấy người trông mà chẳng nói được gì chẳng ái lại như con tim người gì mà hỏi tôi có ta cánh rừng vui chân ta cùng xuống trời bước trong bay quay bên những rừng mơ xuống chợ ngại ngùng gì hỡi anh xuống chợ ấy là chàng trai khôi ngô nghê
Ô trời buồn vui quá, ô mà sao nàng xinh quá, đầu xanh tím đỏ có cho nắng anh, chân đi bên em mà chẳng nói được gì, trong tim anh ái lòng như con tim buồn. Ô trời buồn vui quá, ô mà sao nàng xinh quá, đường xa nắng đổ mà chúng em đỡ anh, chân đi bên em và chẳng nói được gì. Mặt trời đằng sau vách núi chờ đã bóng trên tay đang còn vẫn chưa kịp nói anh gì anh ngập chờ sau tới nhé lại lòng từng vỡ anh trên con đường mòn núi cao bóng đêm xa vời trên con đường mòn núi cao bóng đêm xa vời trên con đường mòn núi cao bóng đang mơ xa.
Thank you, Wangwon-2 High School for the gifted and Hương-Cận High School for your amazing show. And now, let us invite our host performance from Kamleut Science Academy, Thailand. Thank you to all three schools for sharing such incredible cultural talents with us today. Next, we would like to officially welcome the principal of KVIS, Professor Dr. Buncho Pauswat and Yong, to present a report to the chairperson. Please welcome.
Dr. Krishna Kirtikal, Chairman of the Princess Mahachakri Award Foundation, Ms. Hong Tiang An, Shadia Frey, AI of the Embassy of Vietnam, distinguished guests, school administrators, teachers, students, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Good Science Academy, it is my great honor to present this closing report for the camp phase of this PMCAF KVIS Regional Science Platform Vietnam, Thailand, Pilot 2026. A few days ago, we have welcomed our students and teachers with the hope that this program would become much more than just a science camp. We hope that it will become a platform where young people from Vietnam and Thailand could learn from each other, build friendships, and begin working toward a more sustainable world. Today, after we have witnessed the 8 presentations, I believe that mission has already begun and take shape. Throughout this camp, our students explore sustainability from many perspectives. They learn through Discovery Lab, field investigations, educational visits, and collaborative activities. They study rocks, minerals, ecosystem, energy, and environmental challenges. But more importantly, they learn how to observe carefully, ask meaningful questions, exchange evidence, and work together to solve problems. Their learning extends beyond science itself. They experience that sustainability is not only about protecting our nature, but it's also about understanding people, respect different opinions, and recognizing that the lasting solutions require collaboration across disciplines, cultures, and countries. Perhaps the greatest achievement of this camp is not to be found in the presentation that we have witnessed, but in the relationship and friendship that's been built among the student and teacher from our 2 countries. They have learned to listen to each other, to exchange the ideas openly, and to appreciate that diversity makes our collaboration stronger. Today also marks the beginning of a new stage. The equipment that will be presented to each Vietnamese team is not simply a collection of scientific tools. It represents our confidence that our friends will continue their journey beyond this camp. We hope that these tools will help transform today's ideas into meaningful projects that contribute to science education, environmental awareness, and our own communities. Although today is called the closing ceremony, it is not the end of this program. It is the beginning of the post-camp phase. Where the ideas will continue to grow, friendship will continue to deepen, and collaboration will continue across the borders. On behalf of KVIS, I would like to express our sincere appreciation to the Princess Mahachakri Award Foundation, the participating schools from Vietnam, our teacher, staff, and our partners that have made this program possible. Finally, to all the students, congratulations. You came here to learn about the Earth, but I hope you also discover something equally important. The future of our planet depends not only on scientific knowledge, but also on our willingness to learn together, to care for one another, and to work together. The Camp Fest has now been successfully complete, and the participants are ready to continue to the post-Camp Fest. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Bunchol Palsawat Daniel. It is now our high honor to invite Mrs. Huang Yanhan, Charge d'Affaires of the Embassy of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, to deliver her congratulatory remarks to our Thai and Vietnamese students. Please welcome.
Dr. Grisanapong Kritika, Chairman of Princess Mahachari Award Foundation, Professor Bunchak Posapwatiwan, Principal of KVIS Science Academy, teachers and students. Very good afternoon. It's my great pleasure to join you today at the closing ceremony of the PMCAF KVIS Regional Science Platform Vietnam Thailand panel. On behalf of the Embassy of Vietnam in Thailand, I would like to extend my sincere congratulations to the Princess Mahachari Award Foundation and the KVIS for successful organizing this program. I also wish to express my heartfelt appreciation for the warm hospitality and silent endorsement for the Vietnamese delegation throughout this journey. Distinguished, over the past week, students and teachers from Vietnam and Thailand have come together to learn, conduct research, engage in hands-on activities, and explore the field of science and sustainability. The latest value of this program lies not only in the science knowledge gained or the innovative project ideas generated, but also in the spirit of collaboration, mutual understanding, and lasting friendships fostered among the young people of our two countries. So in some ways, we can call them young science ambassadors. I am particularly impressed by the program's innovative approach, which combines project-based learning with field study, scientific research, and cross-border teamwork. This forward-looking educational model enables students to strengthen their critical thinking, problem-solving ability, and collaboration skills in an international environment. More importantly, the program does not end with this science camp. It will continue as students from both countries work together to further develop their project and present the outcome in Hanoi in the coming times. I'm also delighted to learn that this is the inaugural pilot program of the PMCAF KVIS Regional Science Program, with Vietnam serving as its first partner country. This reflects the strong mutual trust and close global cooperation between our two countries in education and the development of high-quality human resources. Distinguished guests, this year marks the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Vietnam and Thailand. I'm confident that initiatives such as this science platform will further strengthen the comprehensive strategic partnership between our two countries by promoting educational cooperation, scientific innovation, and people-to-people exchanges. The Embassy of Vietnam in Thailand remains committed to supporting initiatives that bring our young people together to learn, innovate, and address global challenges together. I would like to once again congratulate the organizers on the success of the program. I wish you all good health and every success. To our students, I wish you continued passion for science, lifelong friendship, and great achievement in the year ahead. ขอบคุณค่ะนะ
Thank you very much, Mrs. Wang Yamhang. We now move to the souvenir presentation ceremony to express our mutual gratitude and celebrate this successful partnership.
First, we kindly invite Dr. Krishnapong Kiratikon, chairperson of the PMCAF, onto the stage and to present the gifts on behalf of the Princess Mahasakri Award Foundation. May I first invite Mrs. Wang Yamhang to come up on stage to receive a commemorative gift.
Thank you, Mrs. Wang Yamhang. Followed by Professor Dr. Bunchol Pauswatanyong. Please welcome. Thank you, Dr. Krishnapong and Professor Dr. Bunchol. May we kindly request Dr. Krishnapong Kiratikon and Professor Dr. Bunchol Pauswatanyong to remain on the stage as we proceed to the next exchange.
Next, we would like to invite the 6 teachers representatives from Huangwan 2 High School for the Gifted and Huanggan High School to come up on stage and present souvenirs to PMCAF and to Professor Dr. Bunchol Pauswatanyong, the principal of KVIS.
Thank you. Now, on behalf of KVIS, we would like to kindly invite Professor Dr. Bunchol Pauswatanyong and Dr. Krishnapong Kiratikon to present commemorative souvenirs and equipment for both Huangwan 2 High School for the Gifted and Huanggan High School.
We invite the 6 teachers representatives from the both schools to come up on the stage once again.
Thank you very much. And present the commemorative souvenirs to PMCAF.
Thank you. We invite everyone currently on stage to align for a commemorative group photograph. May I kindly ask the honored guests to refer to the visual diagram shown on the screen and align yourselves according to the flow layout shown on the screen for the first photograph and remain on the stage until the final photograph.
Now, we would like to invite the VIP guests as shown on the screen for the second round on the stage.
Thank you, and for the final photo, may we invite all camp participants from the 3 schools, students, teachers, staffs, and guests to gather on the stage for a full group photograph.
Thank you for your cooperation. Before moving on to the next session, everybody please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, to officially bring the Earth Sustainability International Science Camp 2026 to a close, it is our highest privilege to invite Dr. Krishnapong Kirtikon, the chairperson of the Princess Mahachakri Award Foundation, to deliver the closing remarks. Please welcome.
Honorable Charge Affairs of Vietnam, Ms. Hoàng Nghiêm Hoan, members of the Princess Mahachakri Award Foundation, principals of the two Vietnamese schools, and KVIS, teachers and students. It is my great pleasure to see you once again, third time actually, at the closing ceremony of the KVIS of the PMCAF KVIS Regional Science Platform, the Vietnam Thailand project. Over the last week, we have listened to inspiring presentations, witnessed enthusiastic participation, and most importantly, we have seen young people from Vietnam and Thailand learning and growing together. I would like to congratulate all the 8 teams who have accomplished. I have to admit that when I was at your age, I have no access to such learning materials. I have no scientific equipment. I have no access to technical journals. We have come a very long way compared to past generations of Vietnam and Thailand. I've learned a lot about the ideas that you would like to do. You have come and you have put forward in a very short time how your curiosity, your teamwork, creativity, and willingness to learn from one another. I hope that I will be able to take part in your representation between Vietnamese schools and KVIS. The foundation believes that education is ultimately about people, about young people like you, driving our country's future together. It is about young people who are willing to learn. Moreover, we have seen teachers who inspire. You might have come across a saying that ordinary teachers teach, great teachers explain, great teachers inspire. In this regard, I'd like to thank the teachers from the 3 schools that you strive very hard to inspire the young students, the time that you put together in the preparation of this camp, both in Vietnam and in Thailand and KVIS. This program represents the vision that young people from different backgrounds can work together for a common purpose. Science has given us a common language to understand complex and beautiful nature. The theme of the camp is Earth Sustainability, has given us a common responsibility. Throughout this program, I hope that you have discussed something equally important, common friendship that connects Vietnam and Thailand. Each team will receive a set of scientific equipment to support your work during your post-camp phase. I've seen the programs that you plan to work together in the next 8 weeks. In this respect, I have to thank Sainuddin, who has been with us from the very beginning. When I first started in over 10 years ago, Sainuddin was coordinating projects, so the cross-boundary project, students in Malaysia and in other parts of the world, and later on between countries in ASEAN. In ASEAN. Now, Sainuddin has taken on a very difficult task in trying to coordinate projects between Vietnamese schools and KVIS. I have to thank Sainuddin for your great contribution. I hope that you see this instrument, not just a cheer instrument, but it's a symbol of trust. Trust that you young people will continue asking questions. Trust that you young people will continue learning program. We trust that you will use science not only to understand the world, but also to improve it. The challenges facing our worlds, facing Vietnam and Thailand, cannot be solved by just one nation, one school, or one discipline alone. This requires people, especially young people, the future generation, to work across culture, respect different perspectives, and combine knowledge and passion. Finally, I'd like to express my appreciation to Government Science Academy, the principal, the teachers, the students, and all the two participating schools from Vietnam, the teachers, the mentors, the organizers, and every partner who has contributed to the success of this program. To all students, as you return home, take with you not only the knowledge that you have gained, but the friendship you have built, the questions you have discovered, and the confidence that you together can make a difference. I wish you every success in the post-camp phase, and I hope that I could be part of the post-camp phase as well. May your ideas continue to grow. May your friendships continue to flourish. May your commitment to sustainable work continue to give, to guide the future that we will live in. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Krishnapol Kirtikar. Although the PMCAF KVIS Regional Science Platform Vietnam Thailand Pilot 2026 has officially come to an end, the knowledge created, the ideas shared, and the friendships built here will continue to flourish.
We extend our deepest gratitude to PMCAF, KVIS, the Embassy of Vietnam, all participating schools, teachers, staffs, and most importantly, our amazing students. We wish our guests from Vietnam and all traveling participants a safe and smooth journey back home.
Would like to kindly request everyone to take a few minutes to complete our questionnaire. We really appreciate your evaluation and feedback. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed the experience here. Safe travels and สวัสดีค่ะ